What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody. Welcome back to SheepStaysLeepTV. Shout out to everybody who been supporting SheepStaysLeepTV and your brother and your host, DS1 Ross. Tonight, well, this evening, we're going to be talking about material leaders and thought leaders. And before I get into the show, I'm going to let people come through, but I need my moderators to moderate. See any foolishness in the chat, get them up out of here. That's what we doing. Any trolls, we getting them up out of here. That's what we doing, y'all. So don't give them no break. Don't put them on no timeouts. Get them up out of here. So, like I said, tonight we're gonna be talking about material leaders and thought leaders. Which is more prevalent in the world? Which is more prevalent in the world? People who lead with ideas or people who lead with material? So we're going to delve in the difference between a materialist and an idealist. So, like I said, I appreciate y'all for coming through and supporting me tonight. Definitely think this is a topic that needs to be discussed, especially dealing with our youth, dealing with our children. They need to understand what is the difference between a materialist and an idealist, and who are the people who really run the world. Are they the people that rule with material or people that rule with their ideas? So again, shout out to everybody. Hope y'all had a good day. And let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, we have to understand the terms. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a materialist and an idealist. So first, I'm gonna screen share, and we're gonna get the definitions of these terms. That's what we're gonna do. Give me 1 second, family. So, as y'all can see here, we're gonna start with a materialist. And it says, a materialist, a person who considers material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. A person who supports the theory that nothing exists except matter and its movements and modifications. That's the noun definition. The adjective definition: considering material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. relating to the theory that nothing exists except matter and its movements and modifications. So it's the same thing. So this is what a materialist is. A materialist is a person, as y'all can see on the screen, who considers material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. So would y'all in the chat currently right now, would y'all consider yourselves materialists? And there's nothing wrong with being a materialist because we're all physical beings. We all have physical bodies. So it's nothing wrong with dealing with material. Now, let's look up the word idealist. Let's see what an idealist is. An idealist is a person who is guided more by ideals than practical considerations. Synonyms: utopian, a visionary, wishful thinker, pipe dreamer, fantasist, romantic, dreamer, daydreamer, stargazer. The second definition is it says a person who believes in the theory of idealism. So the materialist is the person who only believes that only thing that matters is the things that we only could deal with physically. Only thing that matters to them is matter, and that is your physical makeup. An idealist is a person who's guided by their ideals, their ideas, more than practical considerations, meaning they're more focused on how they think and the ideas they come up with than the actual physical aspect of things. So this is where you get the word visionary or having a vision. When you're a visionary, you're an idealist. When you're a daydreamer, you're an idealist. You're a person that's caught up in your mind. And you value the way you think more than what you can produce physically. And I think this is very important dealing with our children because we have to understand the type of children we have. See, a lot of us push our children to do certain things that they may not be cut out for. You may be pushing your child to be an athlete, but he may not be the athletic type. He may not think like an athlete. He may not feel like an athlete. He may not see himself to be an athlete or herself. This is why you hear a lot of these child celebrities, when they tell a story, a lot of them dealt with a lot of depression. A lot of them were suicidal. That's because their parents pushed them into something that they never wanted to do, made them become some things that they never wanted to become. You know, your child may not want to play football. Your child may not want to be a cop, a firefighter. Your child may want to write books. Your child may want to be an artist. Your child may want to be a doctor. So we have to really pay attention to our children and understand them. And we need to understand them from this aspect. If your child daydreams a lot, 9 times out of 10, your child is an idealist because they're always caught up in their thoughts. If your child is a writer, a poet, your child is an idealist. This is very important because a lot of children have been killing themselves within the past few years. It's an influx on teenage suicide. And I believe that a lot of these children are killing themselves because they're misunderstood. They're not being heard. They're crying out in their own way, but they're not being heard because the parents is not trying to be in touch with the children. This is why I did the show Raise or Maintain. See, when you raising your child, you begin to understand your child too. See, not only are you teaching your child, but you're also a student to your child also, because you're watching your child grow and you're learning more about your child. And this is the only way you can properly steer them in the right direction if you understand who and what they are. So family, stop thinking because your child is 6'2", 14 years old, that he's supposed to be a basketball player. He may want to do gymnastics. He may want to be a swimmer. He may want to be a lawyer. See, we have to understand what type of children we have. We have to understand what type of people we are first, as parents also. And we cannot force what we are on our children or force on our children what we want it to be. So you wanted to be a rapper, so now you want to force your son into the rap business, into the entertainment business. When that may be something he don't want to become. She don't want to become. Just because you are successful in music don't mean your child has to be. We have to get in touch with our children. And the way we do that is to build real relationships with them and have real conversations. And we must analyze our children. So when they bring you home their report card, don't just look at the grades. Look at what classes they're stronger in. Look at the comments that the teachers are leaving. Look at the things that they're lacking. This is the way we can figure out if your child is a material leader or a thought leader. Is your child going to be a creator or are they going to be a consumer? What are your children going to be? It's not what you want them to be. It's about what they are and who they are. You cannot make your child into nothing. Your child has all the potential when it's born to become whatever they decide to be. And we have to understand that. We have to trust our teachings. This is why we have to teach them the correct way. This is why we cannot teach out of just our own failures. Because a lot of us want our children to live the life we never lived. You dreamed to go to the NBA, so now you want to raise your son to go to the NBA. And that may not always work. You see? They just showed something recently on TV. It was a college draft. Young black man. He had 3 schools to choose from. His mother wanted him to go to one school, but when he didn't choose the school his mother wanted him to go to, on national TV, his mother walked out on him, crushed her son. But notice what the brother said. He said that he went with his heart, not with his mind. He went with his heart. He did what his heart told him to do. And his mother felt like he let her down because he didn't go where she wanted him to go. And see, that could come from a lack of the fact that she probably wanted to go to that school, but didn't have the good enough grades, didn't meet the credentials to go there. So her son had the credentials, so she tried to force him to go the route that she should have went. So understand what type of child you have. Understand. It's very, very important. And in the world that we live in today, the people with the real money, the billionaires of the world, they are the thought leaders. They are the idealists. Let me give you some examples. Bill Gates. Bill Gates. He dropped out of school because he was a visionary. And he felt so confident and strong in his vision and his ideas that we have Microsoft today. Steve Jobs. These are idealists. Mark Zuckerberg. These are idealists, not people who paid to just have something created. Their ideas manifested into money, which led them to have physical comfort. This is why I asked the question, which is more prevalent in the world today? Society today is ran by the internet. Social media is the biggest thing in society today. Society will not run properly today if it wasn't for social media. All of your businesses is on social media. They promote through social media. So these people who are the owners of these platforms, this is why they're so rich. Because they were visionaries. They believed in their ideas. And then the people with the money, the materialists, came and paid them because they had faith that their investment in these people' ideas could make them more money. See, I don't look at one being better than the other. I think we need both. I think we need each other. I think the materialists need the idealists, and the idealists need the materialists. This is why you have today people that can create content and then get sponsored by a huge company. People like PewDiePie. This is a person who started out with a vision. Something as simple. Something as simple as turning on a camera, starting a YouTube channel, and just playing their video game and commentating. What do you think the gaming sector of YouTube is? That is the biggest sector on YouTube. Being a gamer. And all it is a community of people who's getting paid by other people to watch them play video games and commentate. How do I notice? I have two sons. They watch some of these content creators. They taught me something. I didn't know these people existed, but they watch it, and they watch it all day. And these people are millionaires today. They're millionaires. And now these YouTubers, or I'm not even going to just say YouTubers, I'm going to call them content creators. They got deals by big corporations. Some of them even have their own toys now. They're making toys for these people. These people are requested all over the world because they believed in an idea. They believed in it so strong that they are where they are today. And when you believe in something as much as you do, people will start to believe in it just as much as you do. You see? Facebook wouldn't be the #1 social media platform in the world today if Mark Zuckerberg and his partners didn't believe it would become that. They were visionaries. And now you have all of these other people that Mark Zuckerberg could come and pay to advertise on Facebook. Now they're giving opportunities to the material leaders. So I believe being an idealist in today's world is the most important thing. Because everything that we deal with on a everyday basis comes from thought leaders. Android, all of this software that's created for your iPads, your cell phones. You got people becoming millionaires off of game apps, Candy Crush. Now you have people in the entertainment business who have apps. The rapper Meek Mill, he created an app, a dirt bike racing app. He took something that he do for fun, because that's what him and his homeboys do for fun. They ride dirt bikes. And he created an app and made a whole lot of money off of it. A whole lot of money. You see? And this is what we have to teach our children in this world today. We cannot teach them that, oh, I can go and work at a grocery store and just get a check, and that's the end all be all. No, we have to push our children to be creators. Right now, I'm doing something that is ruling the world, and it's getting ready to take out of it's getting ready to take out cable television, live streaming, the streaming business. In the next few years, there'll be no more cable TV. Why you think they're getting ready to launch YouTube TV if it's not already out yet? You got the Netflix, you got the Amazons, you got the Hulus, you got the titles. These are streaming services for content creators. So now if you don't have the money and you want to film a movie, you can put it on YouTube. You can put it on YouTube. You can put it on Tidal. You can put it on multiple streaming platforms. Put it on Amazon. You can put it on Netflix. So you know what that means? Not not only will there be no more cable television in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm thinking so far of we may not even have movie theaters around like that anymore. Because the content creators are going straight to the streaming services. Everything is being watched on these streaming platforms. Everything is being watched. Why do you think people who create web series are getting these types of deals? Look at Money and Violence, one of the biggest web series ever. That is the biggest web series ever. And what they got multi-million dollar deals to where the next season of Money and Violence was going to be on cable television. Because, and why do you think that's so? Because these companies want to come in and make some of that money. They want to get in with the game. So they offer the content creators millions of dollars for their intellectual property. It's the same thing with record deals, with the music business. What do you think your intellectual property is? It's your thoughts. This is why Jay-Z partnered up with the people from Tidal to create a streaming service. Because why if I'm one of the top content creators in this music business, why am I having to give so much of my money away? When I can put it out on something that I partially own and get most of my money. And not just the money, you have creative control. Because that's why a lot of them come to you with the $1 million checks. Because they want you to be a materialist. They want you to be a materialist. They want you to just be comfortable with getting a $1 million check and going and buying a Maybach and a mansion and living comfortable physically, but you don't own any of the things that you created. They own it. And if they own your intellectual property, if they have the rights to it, they can make money off it forever. This is why today you have a lot of your young artists who don't want to sign deals. This is why. Because they're starting to understand the game that I have to own what I do. If I'm the content creator, I need to own the rights to my own content. I have to have more creative control. And this is what we have to teach our children. When you own the rights to your content, you are a business. Like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. This is why you have your titles in Rock Nations. Because he started to understand what this was all about. And it's about having control of what you do and what you put out. Because the materialists, they have the money and they want to know how much they can pay for your idea to pretty much pimp you out. Because they're not ever going to give you really what you're worth. Because they do all the numbers before they even come to you with an offer. So if they come in and offering you $1 million, your idea probably can make them 10 million at least. And they already calculated that using demographics. What do you think the analytics is in YouTube? And this is the way we boss up today, by becoming content creators. We have to create the content. Why do you think podcast and what we doing here on YouTube is a very big thing? See, we so caught up in, oh, I'm not getting the YouTube AdSense and all of that. Don't get caught up in that. Just stay the course. I haven't got a YouTube check yet, but I'm going to stay the course. You know why? Because it's going to pay off. Because I'm a visionary. I believe in my ideas and I know they will materialize. Because if we like to say the mind is all and all is mental, then why is there so much imitators in the world and not enough innovators? Why are we all trying to copy off of everybody? I'm an avid web series watcher. I barely watch TV. I barely watch movies. But what I'm starting to notice is the content creators behind these web series, they got the same thoughts. Nobody's trying to be different. Nobody. Why? Because they just trying to get a check. You see? They just trying to get the check. This is why a lot of the web series, they're getting dry. They're not as hot as they used to be. Because they're all doing the same stuff. Because they have a short vision. And they're not confident in their ideas to be different. But today, all of these young rappers that you see is controlling the minds of our children, they're different. They're not wearing the hoodies and the baggy jeans and the Timberlands no more. Some of them are skateboarders. Some of them are rock stars because they're daring to be different. They're daring to be different, and it's working. Look at the Migos. Look at Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator went from doing music to now he's a TV star. He has a cult following. Look at Little B. Look at Little B. The rapper from back in the day of a couple years ago, 2007, 2008. People thought he was gay. But what did he do? He's the one who set the template for what you see now from these young rappers. A lot of their flows came from him. The way they dress came from him. He was the first one dressing like a girl. It wasn't Young Thug. It was Little B. And I always liked Lil B because I knew he was different. He was unique. I knew he was coming from up here with it. He was creating a wave. He was creating a certain energy that the youth follows today with their music, with their art, and how they express it. Now, everybody got Little in their name. Little Pump, Little Xan. They got it from Little B. A lot of these young rappers look up to him because he was the father of what you see now. This mumble rap. He was a thought leader. And Little B is rich. Now he does lectures at colleges, speaking to college children and younger children, telling them it's okay to be yourself, no matter how weird you may think you are. Be yourself. It's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to be a backpacker. It's okay to be a skateboarder. It's okay for you to be a boy and like to wear pink. You see? And this is why we have what we have today. So, like I said, material leaders and thought leaders, we need to work in unison. We need to work in unison. But I also believe that material leaders need to have more belief in the idea instead of just looking at what can I make off the idea. Because see, when you just in it for the money, you lose your integrity. You'll begin to do anything for it. You'll sell somebody down the river for it. And this is what a lot of these rap execs, these movie directors, they've been doing this shit for years. And this is why now you have the streaming services. Because these creators then came up with a way to hone in on their own profits. Michael Jackson was a thought leader. This is why he always made sure he owned everything he did. He was his own producer. He had his own studio. And this is what we need to be doing today. We need to be the one-stop shop. Because that's what we see today. You don't need a record label no more. You're the record label. You don't even need a manager no more. If you're willing to work, you don't need a manager. You could promote yourself. Promote through your Instagram. Promote through your Facebook. Promote through your Twitter. Instagram Live. You got people getting deals because they popular on Instagram. What do you think a lot of these women are doing? They're getting modeling contracts because they got millions of likes on Instagram. So these companies are reaching out to them. See, all it starts with is with a thought that you believe in. Everything starts with a thought. Everything. Whether it's a conscious thought or subconscious thought. But it all starts with a thought. This is why we have to listen to our children. You have to really listen to them and try to understand them. Instead of being so quick to look for them to say the answer you're looking for. Listen to them. Make them explain themselves. Why? Ask the question why. And if they can't answer the question why, then you tell them to go back and rethink that thought. Because they need to be able to answer that. Why? The why. You see? So material leaders and thought leaders are what runs the world. But what's most prevalent in society today are the thought leaders. It's not the CEOs. It's not the CEO of Universal Records no more. Because the CEO of Universal Records is now going to SoundCloud finding the next big artist. Look at Cardi B. They found Cardi B from where? Love and Hip Hop. Where did Love and Hip Hop find her from? The streets. They saw something in her. Now she's on Billboard charts. When before, people who had #1 songs, they worked for 10, 20 years before they got nominated for a Grammy. But look at what we have today. We got the Kendrick Lamars, the J. Coles. These people were found on the internet because they was putting their work on MySpace, putting their music out on SoundCloud, Reverb Nation. See, a lot of y'all sleep on these platforms. Like Reverb Nation is controlled by Live Nation. Live Nation is the parent company to Rock Nation. So a lot of you artists that's underground should be putting y'all music on Reverb Nation. When I had my artist, I had him putting his music on reverb. I had him promoting through Instagram. He ended up in one of the biggest music festivals that come to New York for unsigned talent. And the place that he performed in was a venue owned by Live Nation. You see? You know, he didn't stay, he didn't stay the course, so things didn't work out. But I showed him. I showed him how we could do it. And you don't have to sell out. You don't have to sell your soul. You can be an independent entity where people pay you for your intellectual property, where people want to get down with your movement and invest in you. And you can use what's right at your fingertips. Don't you know a lot of these independent labels that has backing by major labels, they look at your SoundCloud, they look and see how many people listen to this song on SoundCloud, how many clicks it got, how many replays it got. They look at Reverb Nation. They look at if you put out music on that Piff. They look at these things. My mixtapes. They look at these things. If you're trying to do things with movies, they look at your YouTube views. They look at these things. You see? You could put out a movie today. If it get a certain amount of views, instead of you calling Netflix, Netflix might call you and offer you $200,000-$300,000 for your content. So that's what's prevalent more in society today. Because everything we use on our cell phone is an app. Who created app software? Now, every business that you deal with has an app. This is why creating, being a creator, being a thought leader is very important. Because once you believe in your vision, it will materialize. That's what the secret is. You know, they want to push that, oh, the secret and law of attraction. That's what it is. It's your thoughts materializing. You see? So shout out to y'all family. I appreciate y'all for coming through tonight. I really, really do. Let me give some shout outs in the chat. I'm gonna read some comments, you know, just to see what's going on. And we're gonna keep this thing going. Stay calm when I sting. Let freedom ring. If it don't ring, boy, you the first then swing. Sound like you rapping. You rapping, True One? Shout out to True One. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Chef JT. The Darkness Awakens. Shout out to Jalen Reloaded. Shout out to my brother Banger Shine, my day one brother. Glad you here, bro. Glad you here, homie. No doubt, true one. Salute. D. Grandison, peace to you, sis. Natural Brown, peace to you. And that's true, D. Grandison. You can't you can't collect mechanical royalties that ASCAP don't track. That's true. Shout out to my sister Black Beauty. Glad to see you here. Shout out to the Thunder God, Zeus Flippy. Shout out to Sheena Waller, pardon me, for coming through, always showing support. I appreciate it. Shout out to Jarvis Davis. Shout out to you, brother. Good looking for coming through, showing support. Shout out to the OG D Red. Houston is in the building. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Morpheus BX. Shout out to you. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Clapback Kiki. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to my brother Rob, the educator. Shout out to Chicago, always. Shout out to Melanation. Peace to you, Melanation. Good looking for coming through. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Who else up in here? Shout out to Scales of Mayat. Glad to have you here. Shout out to Kay Brooks. It's been a while, sis. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Shout out to my brother Devon Phillips. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Shout out to everybody for coming through, man. Shout out to everybody who's been listening. I appreciate all the support. I really, really do. Yeah. I'm gonna activate my super chat, Jalen. When I hit 1,000 views, I'm gonna activate it. But I'm gonna have other ways for people to donate in a minute if they want to donate to your brother. Because YouTube got to take their cut. So it's other ways people could donate too, and that's gonna be available to y'all real soon, family. So if y'all been wanting to donate and haven't had a chance, I'm sorry about that. But for now, y'all donating y'all time and y'all ears. So that's very important to me. Very, very important. The money will come, man. I'm not doing this to pay my bills. My bills are paid without this. So I'm not doing that for this. But for right now, y'all attention is my currency. Y'all energy, because that's all currency is energy. So by y'all 22 viewers, that's energy for me. That's my currency, and I feel good about it. I really do. But anybody who been wanting to donate, y'all have a chance real soon. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I rock with Cube too. And what was Cube? Cube was a visionary. Him and Dre. That's why that's why they got out of NWA. And what was Easy? Easy was a material leader. He ran with the money. And look, and to what expense came with that? You know? There's a lot of conspiracies around Eazy-E's death. You know? Them brothers was thought leaders, and look where they are today. Look where they are today. One of the top black filmmakers was who? Ice Cube. And he started with Friday with Chris Tucker and took off. He took off. He started acting before that, but he had more creative control with Friday than with Boys in the Hood. See, Boys in the Hood, that was John Singleton. Oh, definitely, True One. Definitely. That's coming real soon. The Patreon's coming real soon, family. It's coming real soon, man. So shout out to everybody, man. Understand that we need each other. Nobody's better than one another.
Can I have something to eat, please?
One second, y'all. Yeah, pardon me, y'all. I'm back. But like I said, man, we need each other. We need each other, man. But like I said, the billionaires of the world are thought leaders. The government that we like to talk about that controls everything, they control the way we think. Because when you control the way a person thinks, you can almost dictate what they'll do, what they'll do for money, what they'll do to survive, anything. You can dictate what they'll do if you control the ideas that's put out. See, certain people or certain companies control television. This is why certain commercials only play on television because they're controlling the thoughts of us. This is why when a lot of our children get hungry, Daddy, Mommy, can we go to McDonald's? This is why. Because what's promoted to them on television. Because what's on television and what's on the radio dictates your thoughts. This is why we have to turn the TVs off. And even now, sometimes we got to shut the computers off with our children and deal with them one-on-one. It's not like you're not going to have TVs in your house. To me, that's just being, you know, that's just being extreme and foolish. Our children are going to watch TV. Our children are going to play video games. Come on. We did it. So let's not be foolish here. But we cannot let those things dictate how our children think on a daily basis. You see? We like to say the government uses propaganda and mind control, but they only can use it on people that it works on. You see? And the way that we can limit the programming, because you can't stop the programming, because we're all programmed, because we're all living here. And society is set up a certain way, so it's just certain shit you just have to do. Period. But the way we limit the programming is we have to implement our own program. We have to teach our kids to create their own content. Create what you want to see on TV, son. Create what you want to see on TV, little mama. Why don't you try to make your own toys? See, we have to start pushing our children towards that way and stop thinking it's a white and a black thing. See, they keep our mind stuck in that realm so we don't create nothing. And then our children is only left to deal with what society has for them. And then what we do, we turn around and blame society. No, society is going to always be what it's going to be. It's never going to change, okay? And I'm going to get into that later on tonight on my second live stream. Because people think they can overthrow a government when they don't even govern their own households. They don't govern their own children and what their children watch and what their children eating. How the hell you gonna overthrow a government that feeds your ass, that gave your ass a job and a career, that gave your ass housing? That's foolish. So we gonna get into more of that tonight on my second live stream. Y'all could tune into that. Since you mentioned the greatest of all time, Ice Cube, I have to say that he is forever the most conscious rapper ever, even more than Tupac, because to put the real out there like Cube did, people followed his path. That's true. That's true. That's a fact. That's a fact. To me, he was one of the first, you know, black hip hop artists to really create his own thing and become independent. Cube. Mm-hmm. And so was Dre. But see, go back into their lives in the NWA movie. They had a strong family structure. Cube had an intelligent mother and father who taught him to stand out, who taught him that your thoughts, you never let your thoughts be compromised by money. You see? And then Dre came after that because he started to see what Cube been trying to tell him. But see, Easy, he didn't want to go through that because he was so stuck on being poor and coming out the hood in Cali that he didn't want to leave that money and go and create something that will last forever. He had a short vision. You see? He had a short vision. And see, this is why in the music business, when you're dealing with certain people that's empowering the music business, they are the visionaries, the managers, the CEOs. They are the visionaries for the artists. They telling the artists the type of music to make because the vision that they have to go with the image of the artist. And this is why a lot of the artists don't have creative control. This is why they don't have creative control, because they haven't monetized their thoughts. They haven't monetized their thoughts. They don't own them. They don't own the rights to their own thinking. That's what intellectual property is. It definitely was revolutionary, true one. Definitely was. It definitely was. That's why most of your West Coast artists are independent today. And what they're doing is they just doing distribution deals, because they couldn't, I can't sell 500,000 tapes out my trunk. You know, I can't sell it all out my trunk. Look at Master P. Master P too. He was the revolutionary of the South. He was before Birdman and them. It was Master P first. Now look at who you got today. You got the Little Waynes. You got the Maybach Music, Rick Ross. You see? So shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, listening to your brother DS1 Ross. Shout out to all my day ones. Y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to DS1 Alliance. We here, man. We here. Remember, let's talk to our children. Let's figure out who they are. Let's figure out who they are so we could steer them in the right way. So we don't have no more Raven Simones and Orlando Browns. See? Growing up, Orlando Brown probably never wanted to be on TV. You see? He probably didn't even want to be on TV. That's why you see him today going crazy. Because he was forced to become something or someone he never wanted to be. The King of the South, I think, is the legend Willie D. He's definitely part of it. Definitely. Definitely. And if you look at Master P, his story, he went to Texas. His big homie is who? Jay Prince. That's his big homie, Jay Prince. He got the blueprint from Jay Prince. And today, who you think is behind Drake? Jazz Prince, Jay Prince's son. This is why Birdman owed Jay Prince a lot of money. They've been in court for years now. See? Because that's who not only founded Drake, but he's the one who developed Drake into the artist who he is today. Jazz Prince. He taught Drake how to dress. All of that. That's why if you listen to early Drake music, everything was Houston. Houston, Houston, Houston. Big homie Jazz Prince. That's Jay Prince's son. So Houston is definitely part of it, bro. Definitely. Definitely. Shout out to my brother Doug in the building. Good looking for coming through, bro. Showing support. You know? The US government still uses slave master tactics. I hate to break it down to y'all, but America will never be a free country. Remember that this country was robbed and never got justice it deserved. America is not a country. America is a business. The United States of America is a corporation. It's a market. America is a country. We don't live in America. We live in the United States of America. This is a market. This is why you have immigrants here. They come here and do business and sell us everything that we got in our goddamn house. I guarantee you majority of our products that we use in our house is made in China, made in Korea. Most of our sneakers is made in Bangladesh. This is a market we're in. This is a market. The United States is a market. It's a market. And the real people of the world, they understand that. The rich people of the world, they understand that. This is why the key thing to do is to do business, to become a business. So shout out to everybody again. You came in kind of late, Doug, so you might have to catch the playback, bro. But I appreciate y'all. As always, supporting Sheep Stay Sleep TV. If you in here, make sure you hit the like button. You haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Stay in tune with your brother. Y'all can also check me out on SoundCloud, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Y'all could also join my Facebook group, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Stay in tune. Stay in tune with your brother. If you like what you hearing, stay in tune with me. I'll be back later, y'all, with another live stream. Cause what I'm coming back with later is something that has been a problem for a long, long time. And it's just time to address it. It's time to address it, man. It's time to call it out as it is, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll be back in a couple hours. Chop it up with y'all again. I'm your host, DS1 Ross. You just tuned in to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Remember, we have to heal before we build. Because if we build before we heal, we'll continue to cause self-inflicted wounds on ourselves. That means we're going to destroy what we built from within. So we don't have nobody to blame but ourselves. So let's heal, y'all. Let's get it together within ourselves. Then we'll get it together without, on the outside. I appreciate y'all again, man. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Peace out.